We bring back Texas Senator Ted Cruz. He's been watching the events unfold right before our eyes. You know, Senator, I know that you went to an Ivy League school. You went to Harvard. Alan Dershowitz, who doesn't agree with you politically, said you were one of his best students. So this is supposed to be, you know, one of the finest institutions in America. Parents would kill to have their kids go there. Here's my question. Where is their moral clarity, Senator? We all watched the horror of what happened. They're climbing in, the police one by one, climbing in a window. Where's the moral clarity? What part of 1,200 Israelis that were murdered on October 7th are they not understanding? What part of burning people and beheading people and raping women and taking innocent men, women, and children hostage, what part of this are they not understanding? If you extrapolate out the population of Israel, you compare it to the U.S., it would be the equivalent of 40,000 Americans that are killed in a single day in America and 8,000 taken hostage and taken off U.S. soil. That's the level of terror that Israel experienced on October 7th. How did all of these students become so radicalized? Why won't our president stand with Israel? I'm not saying to send troops. I'm not even saying to give them a dime, but just stand against their right to self-determination and survival against those people that are trying to wipe them off the map, because that is their stated policy. It's in their charter.
Yeah, look, our universities, particularly our elite universities, are utterly corrupted. They're profoundly anti-Israel. They hate Israel. But understand, they don't just hate Israel. They hate Jews. They embrace anti-Semitism because the cultural Marxist defines a Jew as an oppressor and defines a Palestinian as a victim. And for the cultural Marxist, once you do that, you support the violent revolution of the so-called victims against the so-called oppressors. It's not just Israel and Jews they hate. They hate America. You mentioned my alma mater, Harvard. It was really sad to see in the last couple of days when they pulled down the American flag and they erected instead the Palestinian flag, to see Harvard students cheering on. We saw the same thing happen at Yale, with Yale students cheering when the American flag hit the ground. We saw at where I went to college, Princeton, we saw students there waving the flag of Hezbollah. These are the same people that cheered on the Nazis in World War II. And it is a profound, radical leftist agenda. But one of the points a minute ago, you were just talking to Paul from the NYPD. He made the point about outside agitators. Understand, many of the people you're seeing in New York right now are not even Columbia students. I can tell you in Austin at the University of Texas, there were 77 people arrested yesterday. Texas stood in and stood up strong to this. Of those 77, 46 of them were not UT students, more than half of them. And as you know, I do a podcast every week called Verdict with Ted Cruz, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My latest podcast follows the money. It asks, who's paying for this? Who's paying for the matching tents of all these occupiers? And the answer is, number one, George Soros, and number two, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund. They are paying roughly $8,000 for student organizers and activists. That's for about 8 hours a week to cause this kind of dissent. This is money in massive quantities that are being spent by the radical left to undermine and tear down America. And what we need, Sean, we need leaders and the university administrators to say, if you do this, you are expelled. If you're a student, game over. It's done. We need Democrats. Why is Joe Biden terrified of these radicals? You know, just a few days ago, Joe Biden stood next to AOC while AOC saluted the protesters at Columbia and NYU, and he stood there with a goofy grin. It's not just the squad. It is the so-called mainstream of the Democrat Party, and it's because they're terrified of the radicals in their own base that are anti-Semites and, sadly, are leftists who hate America.
You know, it really is an amazing, and all these cops are risking their lives tonight, and they have no idea as they climb into Hamilton Hall one by one tonight. They have no idea what is on the other side there.
Those cops are American heroes.
Yeah. Senator Cruz, we really appreciate you staying with us late tonight. Thank you on this breaking news night.